Welcome to Math Lab. Today you're on your journey to discover decimal multiplication. You are provided with some 10 by 10 graph paper, a lab observation sheet and some color pencils. Look carefully at your 10 by 10 graph paper. The vertical lines are in green and the horizontal lines are in red. Each small square, right here I will mark the small square, represents 1 out of 100, which is nothing but 0.01. To represent 0.1 or 1 by 10, on your graph sheet, shade 10 squares vertically or 10 squares horizontally. How will you represent 0.3 on your graph sheet? Yes, you can shade 30 squares vertically or 30 squares horizontally. Remember, 0.3 is nothing but 30 by 100 or 3 by 10. Now suppose if we shade the entire graph paper, what do we represent? We represent 1, that is nothing but 100 out of 100. To multiply 0.8 into 0.9, follow these instructions. First, shade 80 squares vertically using a light color pencil. Next, shade 90 squares horizontally using another color pencil. Can you identify the squares that are common to both? 72 squares out of 100 are common to both, and hence 0.8 into 0.9 is equal to 0.72. To multiply 2 into 0.2, follow these instructions. Take two 10 by 10 graph papers as each of graph paper represents 1. Shade the entire graph sheet vertically using a light color pencil. To multiply by 0.2, you will shade 20 squares using another pencil horizontally. So right here we have shaded 20 squares in each graph paper. So what do we find? The number of squares that are common to both. So each graph paper has 20 out of 100 squares common. Is it not equal to 40 out of 100? Which is nothing but 0.4. This gives the product of 2 into 0.2. To multiply 1.3 into 0.4, follow these instructions. You can represent 1.3 by shading vertically a whole graph paper and 30 squares in another graph paper by using a light color pencil. Now to multiply by 0.4, you will shade horizontally 40 squares in both the graph papers in another color pencil. Can you identify the product? Have fun discovering multiplication of decimals.